ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. We know very well that the masters used to tell some stories, and also they quote the real happenings in life to enlighten us or to bring to us the actual significance and wisdom which lies in such happenings. So, let us examine this aspect as told by a master. See, the facts or happenings told in the form of stories and often quoted by masters belong to the very foundation of religious consciousness, and without it there can be no religious transformation, said the master. So, master said, please listen as attentively as possible, and as this story can become a door and can become such a radical change in your life that you may never be the same again. But the story has to be understood very carefully, very lovingly, because it is a very strange tale. These stories quoted by masters are not just to entertain you, to give an occupation to you. They are the teaching devices. They indicate something, show something, they point out to something. They are pointers, arrows towards the unknown, fingers pointing to the moon. Remember this saying of the Sufis, do not bite my finger, look where I am pointing at. These stories are reflections of the beyond. They say that which cannot be said, and they try to express that which is inexpressible. They belong to the innermost search for truth. They belong to the center of your being. The secret is the art of believing, the art of trusting, the art of saying yes to the existence. Believing in the impossible becomes possible, my dear. Then how does it happen? In fact, things are impossible because you don't have courage to believe. Each thought can become a thing. All that happens inside the consciousness can create its reality outside. All that happens outside has to happen first inside, my dear. The seed is absorbed in the soil and the tree manifests outside. If you have a believing heart, nothing is impossible. It is not possible for the mind to believe, it can only doubt. Belief grows out of heart, and heart cannot doubt, it can only believe, my dear, said the master. If you remain in the beliefs of the mind, which is just only a pseudo phenomenon, you will remain a wasteland, a desert. You will never bloom and never know what an oasis is, never know joy and celebration. So, believing makes impossible things possible means believing in heart, an innocent heart, heart of a child. When the heart says yes, it is simply yes, no conflict, no division. Believing is a byproduct of love. Only those who know how to love know how to believe. Love arises from heart, and belief also arises from heart. The heart is an adventurer, explorer of mysteries, then discovers of all that is hidden. The heart is always on a pilgrimage, always never satisfied. A spiritual discontent always exists in the heart. Heart is in love with the movement, never conventional, always in a revolution. Remember, my dear, the heart longs for adventure, danger, uncharted, unknown, insecure, hankers for oceanic experience, want to dissolve and disappears into the whole, whereas the head is afraid of dying and disappearing. My dear, said the master, when the river faced the desert, encountered the desert, the head says, do not evaporate. Your identity may be erased forever. But the moment the river started thinking of risking, somewhere in deep unconsciousness, it started feeling, yes, this is somewhere, some experience. I have been in the hands of winds before too. When you trust, your unconscious starts revealing many things to you. Religion is the fragrance of this trust, which is impeccable. Now, this story, said the master, it has to be savoured, tasted, digested slowly. So, the title of the story is The Man with Inexplicable Life. Love is always inexplicable. I mean, life is always inexplicable. If you have it really alive, there is something mysterious about it that it cannot be explained in any way. There is no explanation to it. If you can explain your life, that simply means you are dead and you are not alive. If you can find a man who can explain his life end to end logically, then you can be certain that he may be a machine or a computer, but he is not alive. Only dead things can be explained end to end, but life is a mystery. So, whenever one is alive, one is mysterious, said the master. Whenever you come around a person who is alive, you will feel some mystery, some inexplicable phenomenon. You will be touched by something. You can't figure it out. You can't have any mathematics of life. Life remains intrinsically poetic. It is a beauty to be seen, but not a fact to be explained, my dear, said the master. That the master said like this: there was once a man named Mosud. The word is beautiful and has two meanings. Literally, it means one who is present. Mosud means one who has an inner presence. Second meaning, which comes from first, is one who lives in present, present to present. Two things are two aspects of the same phenomena. If you are present inside, if you have a presence of consciousness, the second thing will automatically happen. You will be present to present, and the present has eternity in it, my dear. Only those who live in the present know what eternity is, know what deathless life is, know the mysteries, the inexplicable mysteries of life. But even knowing it, you can't explain it to anybody else. You can only indicate, cannot say what it is. Life exists without explanation. There is no why to it. There is no why to it at all, my dear. Philosophers go on thinking why, and they go on fabricating systems to answer this why, but not even a single answer is true and will never be true, because you are asking a wrong question. Once you ask a wrong question, you will never come to right answer. Why is a wrong question, my dear? Science does not ask why. Religion does not ask why. Religion is the science of inner. Science is religion of outer. Because two in the philosophy, I mean between two is the philosophy. It asks why. Even if you find some explanation as to why, the question will again have to be asked, why does this world exist? Somebody says God created it. Then question comes, why did God create it? Someone may answer, he created it for this or that. Each answer simply pushes the question a little deeper, but the question is not dissolved. Why is an irrelevant question? You move into philosophy. When you ask that, religion does not ask why, does not ask even what, it asks only one thing, how. Science also asks how. So, science between, I mean, so science became technology and religion becomes yoga, tantra, Sufism, Zen, etc. So, these are technologies of inner world, my dear. There was once a man named Moses. He lived in a town where he had obtained a post as a small official, and it seemed likely that he would have ended his days as inspector of weighs and measures. That is how millions of people end their lives, and in whatever manner you end up, all those things are futile. I am not saying not to become like that, but don't end up with that. Just think what you have attained, what you have got out of life, what is your realization. You can have a standard of living without any life in it. People thought Moses also end up like that, but he is a different man as he had a presence. His outer life was one thing, but his inner life was another. He must have been becoming more and more thoughtless. Only then you are present. I mean, when you are thoughtless, only then you are present. Thoughts distract you from the present. Thought become cloud on your being and you lose contact, get disconnected with the present. Thoughts are never of the present, they are of past or future, said the master. If this man was really a man of presence, that simply means deep down in the dark night when everybody was fast asleep, he must have been contemplating, not telling anybody, and watching. He moves in the ordinary world, but there must have been a witness, a watcher, an observer. That observer by and by created the luminous presence in him. Hence, he is called Moses. So, one day when the person was walking through a garden, Self, the mysterious guide, appeared to him. Now, you have to understand this. Self is just a name of your innermost core. When you become silent, present, a moment comes when the inner guide starts speaking to you. My dear, said the master. That inner guide is known as self. So, Atma. Remember, whenever your innermost core will speak to you, it always speaks in this way. Man of bright prospects, as there has never been a man who is not of bright prospects. You may not attain to it, but that is your destiny. The seed was there, help it to grow. If you helped it to grow, it would have become a great tree, and thousands of birds would have made their nests on it. Thousands of travelers would have rested under its shade. Flowers would have bloomed, and existence would have celebrated through you. Nature has provided all that is needed. Each man is of bright prospects because each man has God, each man has God as his ultimate flowering, said the master. When you go deep into contemplation, it will happen again and again. A moment will come when circumference and center are very close, no barrier between them, not even a curtain. You will hear the center loudly and clearly. Then again, you will be clouded with old habits. Thoughts will come in and jam your inner pathways, and they, center and circumference fall apart. It happens many times. Many times you will come so close to the center that you feel almost enlightened. You feel you have arrived, and again it is lost. It is natural, my dear, said the master. Before it settles forever, it happens many times. Small glimpses, opening of the window and then closing again. Suddenly the door opens and you see the vision, and there is lightening experience, and then again it is gone and darkness settles. So, your inner voice, inner voice. So, what is the inner voice, and the further story, let us examine it in the next video. Thank you all, my dears.